Milk made with fresh cow's milk from certified dairy farmers with 130 years experience. We produce over 1.3 billion liters annually. We work with quality standards that far exceed statutory requirements. Our milk is not made from milk solids. Ammerlander. Real milk, pure and natural. Available at stores nationwide.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Hello there and welcome to this, your maiden newscast, right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. The news comes to you with the kind compliments of Ammerlander Milk. Before I bring to you news and details, let's bring to you today's page that is dedicated to being blunt in the Kaieteur News, Guyana's largest selling daily newspaper. Fading oil hopes brings feelings of shabby. It deepens the gloom by taking a dose of Irfan Ali interested in a reputation as an oil man. Who can see from far? Who can see far? Try some sleeping tablets, complains of Donald Ramatar. For those having a craving for some oil fun, try listening for something from Joe Harmon. Where there is need for some oil sun, have a ray from Raphael Trotman. If there is a sense of bad and the sad, that has to be coming from one Robert Prasad. Last, when the desire is to be in an oil yogo, take a chance with a man named Barrett Jagdeo. And now for the top stories we're tracking for today, December 18th, 2020. Lack of insurance from Exxon, Guyana foots the bill for any disaster at Liza Phase 1 project. 5 years later, Guyana's regulatory legislative framework for oil sector still stuck in the dark ages. And in the US $150 million and counting, government helpless as check continues to dance on airport project. And the GMSA and the PSC pushes for local businesses to benefit more in oil sector. And alleged Ponzi scheme, only $3 million out of $4 billion repaid to investors. Lawyer says money is safe in Belize. Get the details of these stories and much more when the news returns.
This Christmas, Shake to Win just got bigger! Now when you purchase our new bigger Digital Prime bundle and Shake to Win, you can choose your prize and share it with someone you love. So, shake more and share more! Share more daily prizes and guaranteed wins every Saturday. You can win laptops, cash, smartphones, credit, data, and so much more. Shake more, share more. Activate a Digital Prime bundle in the My Digital app and Shake to Win this Christmas.
You don't have to be a fountain of knowledge to help children with their schoolwork while they're at home. But you do have to be caring, understanding, loving, and patient. It's an unsettling time for everyone, but children still need a safe and secure environment. So don't overwhelm them with endless news items or problems. Keep them gainfully occupied and amused, exercised and rested. Protect our children. A message from the Child Care and Protection Agency, Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, and UNICEF.
Thank you for joining us. Just before we bring to you your news in details, it is time for us to bring to you your front page comment. Your front page comment is titled, Oil Dorado Called Guyana. Like Exxon, Guyana is banking on the earnings from its existing projected oil finds. However, Exxon is going to gain billions more than it sunk into the field development plans in search for productive oil. This is guaranteed. The company is sitting on an oil dorado called Guyana. What is far from assured is what Guyana will earn from the large sums needed to fix its petroleum bill and draft local content policy. If the billions borrowed from the Inter-American Development Bank, $34 million at the last count, are spent sensibly, then Guyanese have a slim chance of reaping enduring prosperity. If we get an comprehensive petroleum bill and a robust local content policy and local content laws, then it stands a chance at improving its present position. But this will only materialize if it speeds the present sums prudently as our politicians do not help themselves to some of the loans and oil monies. The many ifs and buts reminds us that public has a little trust in our political leaders when it comes to negotiating about oil. This is all the more reason why Guyanese should remain vigilant and become more outspoken, even to the point of calling on our political leaders to stand up or move aside. And now for your news in details. Guyana may be covered for Exxon's future oil developments, the Liza Phase 2 and Payara, in the event of an oil spill. But when it comes to Exxon's current development, the Liza Phase 1, Guyana is left exposed. If an oil spill happens today, with repercussions from neighboring states, Guyana will be paying compensation for losses for generations to come. Former EPA head Dr. Vincent Adams had found that Guyana was not insured for the Exxon's ongoing projects, so he decided to include a provision in the company's permits which would safeguard Guyana. This provision will be included not only in Exxon's permits but in those of all oil companies. He had explained that the production sharing agreements Guyana signed are with subsidiaries and oil companies and not their partners with limited assets. These subsidiaries are not equipped to cover insurance needed if a major oil spill were to occur. And in 2 days, Guyana will be marking its 1-year anniversary as an oil-producing nation. But after 5 years under the APNU-AFC and almost 5 months under the PPPC administration, Guyana has failed to address many of the bottlenecks that hindered its ability to effectively police the sector. Both have also failed to plug loopholes in the oil contracts that led to significant value loss. 3 institutions that may have been providing advice on the weaknesses of Guyana's legislative and regulatory governance framework are the IDB, the World Bank, and the IMF. Chinese contractor China Harbour Engineering Company has held the contract for the $150 million and counting Chedi Jagan International Airport expansion project since November 11, 2011. Close to a decade later, Guyana is still awaiting the new and modernized airport it promised, and now the PPPC regime appears to be helpless, as the company shows no indication that the agreed specifications in the initial contract will be delivered anytime soon. The project was to extend the runway by another 1,000 meters and build a new terminal building that will boost 8 air bridges, escalators, and bigger arrival and departures hall. The initial contract was reduced from 9,000 square meters to 4,046, and still, CHEC could not meet the deadline set. The Private Sector Commission and the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association have stepped up calls for the local businesses to be given more opportunities in the expanding oil and gas sector. The bodies noted it will be meaningful local content and greater transparency in procurement opportunities throughout unbundling, which involves offering products or services separately that had previously been packaged together. In addition, they stated that moving away from the sole sourcing is another integral way to achieve this, so that local businesses can be part of the value chain either directly or through partnerships and joint venture. The GMSC and PSC noted too that it looks forward to working closely with the government to urgently put in place the framework and enabling environment to facilitate this. You're listening to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. More news after the break. Stay with us.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
This is the news.
GPL wishes to advise all customers and the general public that due to the ongoing heavy rainfalls and strong winds, our company anticipates that some communities will experience localized faults. Consequently, customers are advised that our emergency team is on standby to act swiftly to restore power to affected areas. Further, customers who may experience a localized fault are asked to call our 24/7 call center on 226-2600 to report a localized fault. To this end, GPL will continue to work assiduously to provide reliable supply of electricity to all stakeholders. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us right here on Kaieteur Radio. Accelerated Capital Firm Inc., the company accused of bilking over 17,000 Guyanese of over $20 million, is still unable to publicize the number of investors they have been repaid. However, the company, whose principal are facing over 80 charges, says a mere $3 million were repaid. We were told that the number of investors to be repaid in the thousands and that the repayment process will resume sometime in the new year. Between the period August 26 and October 17th, two officials of the company, Yuri Garcia Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael, were slapped with 80-plus fraud charges, and 2 charges under the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act. The couple is currently out in over $30 million bail for all the charges. 57-year-old Colin Ross, a farmer of Berbice, has been sentenced to 12 years in jail after pleading guilty to killing his 82-year-old father, Rudolph Ross, in April 2017. Ross, an ex-police sergeant, was on trial before Justice Braceton Reynolds in the Berbice High Court. The deceased was a former overseer in the Bush Lot area. The younger Ross is accused of causing the elderly man's demise during the course of a fire of arson. In handing down the sentence, Justice Reynolds stated that at 22-year-old but deducted 5 years from the time spent and another 5 for good behavior and the early plea. Thus, his sentence was 12 years in jail. And finally, at this time, the Ministry of Health reported 26 new COVID-19 cases yesterday, with Region 10 recording 21 of them. Region 6 and 7 recorded 1 new case each, while Region 4 recorded 3 new cases. The total number of confirmed cases increased to 6,042. 644 patients are in home isolation, 35 in institutional isolation, and 8 in the COVID-19 ICU. An additional 70 persons are in the institutional quarantine, and 12 persons have recovered. The total number of recoveries, according to the ministry, is 5,197. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. Let's remind you that the news came to you with the kind compliments of Amalander Milk. You can also get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you, or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Slyckman, wishing you and your family season's greetings, and have a blessed remainder of your Friday.
Amalander Milk. Milk made with fresh cow's milk from certified dairy farmers with 130 years experience. We produce over 1.3 billion liters annually. We work with quality standards that far exceed statutory requirements. Our milk is not made from milk solids. Amalander. Real milk, pure and natural. Available at stores nationwide.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Guyana, you're being handed billions in US dollars from our field development plan. Do you really understand what's a field development plan? Let me explain what a field development plan is. It's like setting up the stage after you have found oil for production. in Guyana's layman terms, is like finding a piece of land to which you want to buy a house, to build a house on. Would you give a man or allow a man to draw a plan for your house to which you have no say? Well, this is what Guyana is doing. Would you allow this man to build a house for you, set up that house for you, in which you have no say as to what money he spent there? Well, this is what Guyana is allowing the oil companies to do to you. They are setting the stage, they are building the stage, and they are handing you a bill in the billions to which you have no say. It's like back to the contractor. The contractor buys zinc sheets, and he tell you a price which is 10 times more. He buys blocks, he buys cement, he buys steel, he buys everything that he built that house with, and you had no say. But you have to accept the bills that this man is handing you. A field development plan is something that resembles exactly what I said there. It is like you find gold in a piece of land between you and your neighbor, and your neighbor is carrying in the machineries and the equipment onto that land to bring up the gold, and you have no say. He hands you a bill for an excavator that costs $50 million, and he handing you a bill for $450 million. Let me ask you, Guyana, would you pay that bill? The answer is very clear. Well, that is what is happening in the oil industry with this field development plan. We are handed for Liza 1 $3.5 billion in setting up the stage with the FPSO. The FPSO is a large ship that coming there to sit there so that when the oil comes up, it stores it. It's like a big pontoon for $3.5 billion in which we had no say. We got another bill for $6 billion for the Liza 2. Another $9 billion for Liza 3, which is called Payara. Guyana had no say in those spendings, but the bills are coming to us. And guess what, Guyana? Those bills are coming to us with an interest rate. Down to the interest rate we have no say on. What's happening with our leaders? What's going on with these morons? Somebody needs to say something. Somebody needs to come out and tell this nation, what are we doing? We should have had almost 1,000 people checking every single piece of spending these people are doing. But we are just sitting back like fools, like idiots, and accepting those bills to which will have to come out from the profits of our oil. Is that how we run in this country, guys?